Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Wednesday meditation gathering. I'm so glad you're all here to share this time together. Meditation gathers energy when we meditate together. This week we have Katherine Owen who will lead us in meditation. Then we'll have 20 minutes of silence. After that, we're going to open it up for sharing and we end at 10:45. Over to you, Katherine.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Miracle Network. Really lovely to be here. So let's start by taking a deep breath in and let it go with a long, audible out breath. You might want to shake a little bit. Just really let yourself arrive and be here. And that's just as much for me as for you. So today I'm going to lead a guided meditation, and it's going to invite you to switch perspective from your little self to your big self and back to your little self. And in A Course in Miracles, it sometimes talks to self with a capital S, which I'm going to call larger self, as I'm not going to keep doing that, and sometimes talks to self with a small s, which is us in our little Zoom boxes with our names and our skin that separates us from each other. And yeah, I taped this a few months ago and I'm finding it very useful actually. And one of the things that prompted it was noticing when one of us asks a question or makes a comment that implies a certain amount of striving for enlightenment, striving to let go of association with who we are. And yeah, I'm just finding it really useful to gain clarity on which part is which and which part strives and which part actually, like the self with a small s, is not going to be enlightened. That's my understanding. It's going to just let go of seeing itself as separate and just become part of the oneness. So it's not a striving, it's a surrendering. And I do want to say, when I look through this, I really want to give you permission to disagree. Partly because I think in a meditation, it's not good to get into a sort of, oh, what do I think of that or that? So just in advance, give yourself permission to disagree. Most of it's quotes from A Course in Miracles. But one of the things I've done is, for example, the lesson I'm sustained by the love of God, I've used that where the small self says to the big self, I am sustained by your love. So my understanding is that the big self would have access to all the qualities of God, the love, the peace, the joy. But if that gives you theological indigestion, just let that go. Let that be what it is. So I'm going to lead us straight from the talking into the meditation. So I'm going to invite us to relax now, and I'll let you know at what point we're just going into the silence, and at the end I will bring you out. So yeah, just make yourself comfortable, and you might want to push back in your chair. Just make sure you're really sitting on your pelvic bones, just really comfortable there, and just be aware of your body, where it's sitting, and be aware of where your body meets the surface beneath you. Just really get into this body of yours. And you might want to shut your eyes and imagine that you're completely relaxed. So from this awareness of your body, I invite you to shift awareness to the idea that you're held within something much larger than your body. Your body is held within something larger than itself. And you might see yourself held within an energy field. And let your awareness expand outwards as it keeps looking for the edges of this energy field. And as your awareness becomes more and more expansive, you realize this self, this larger self, is not defined by space. but that you are a thought in the mind of something so much bigger than yourself. And now, to the best of your ability, identify with and be this larger self. This is who you are. You do not have a body. Your needs are all met. You do not suffer loss. You know you will never die. You know yourself as one with everything. You rest in joy, in love, in peace. As your larger self, let the following words flow over you, not as affirmations, but simply as statements of truth. I am as God created me. I am not a body. I am free. I am one self, united with my Creator. I am at one with every aspect of creation. And now, from the perspective of being this larger self, become aware of your smaller self as a thought in your mind. Take a moment to know your absolute acceptance of your smaller self. Your delight that this thought of separation is including you in its own little dream mind. Your admiration that in a world of separation, it manages to remember and believe in you. Your gratitude when it includes you in any part of its day. Your gratitude when in a moment of seeming separation, it shares its life with you and asks you to remind it of who it is. Your absolute knowing that this smaller self will inevitably know itself as you. Rest for a moment in this experience of being your larger self, feeling acceptance, delight, admiration, gratitude, and certainty that your smaller self will awaken to knowing itself as part of you. And now switch to identify yourself once more as your smaller self. So be in your body. And from this perspective, direct your awareness to your larger self. Have a sense of resting in the mind of this larger self. Receive its delight and admiration that you remember it at times. Receive its gratitude that even in a world of separation, you include it. Receive the certainty of yourself that you are part of it and that you will awaken to knowing who you are. And even though in this moment you might know the answers, practice asking the following questions. What do you think of me? When I do this or that, do you change your mind about me? Do I disappoint you? Do you want me to be different? Do you want my body to be different? Do you want the extent I know myself as you to be different? Once again, receive from yourself your admiration, your gratitude, your certainty. And just for a moment, you understand that you don't have to fix yourself. You don't have to try to be this larger self. You need do nothing to be this larger self. It is just who you are. Your experience is that you can be happy and then sad. You can be calm and then angry. You can be full up and then hungry. All this is as it is. And through it all, you rest in joy, love, and peace. The separation never happened. This is the self you never left. They never left you. And now, still as your smaller self, let the following words wash over you. Asking you for help is not taking, but sharing. I come to you with hands open to receive. The world I see bears false witness to who I am. I ask you, who am I? At a time when I am tempted by guilt, I set the intention to ask the question, have you changed your mind about me? I set the intention to remember that you, my larger self, will never change your mind about me. You would need to change your mind about yourself. This will never happen. I am trying to change the world into one in which I can be happy. I change my mind about the world. It is a place to show me my beliefs about who I am. A place to show me the blocks to the awareness of your love. I bring my beliefs about myself to you. I let myself be defined by you instead. There is no block to the awareness of your love. Your peace is shining in me now. I am sustained by your love. We're about to enter a time of silence, and you might choose to repeat the words, I am as God created me. I am not a body. I am free. You can choose to either say these words as your larger self, in the knowledge of their truth, or you can choose to say them as your smaller self, as a channel to open you to the knowledge that you are your larger self. So I'm going to repeat those words 3 times, followed by silence. I am as God created me. I am not a body. I am free. I am as God created me. I am not a body. I am free. I am as God created me. I am not a body. I am free. And now, still with your eyes shut, bring your focus to your breath. Identify yourself with the person that is you, with the name that is yours, with the body that is yours. Locate yourself within this body. Be aware of the soft edges of yourself. And now open your eyes and come back to full waking consciousness, knowing you've done wonderful work to allow yourself to experience the dream of separation, along with an ongoing commitment to remembering who you are.
Okay, if you'd like to speak, raise your hand or use the reactions button at the bottom of your screen, and I'll invite you to take yourself off of mute. If you'd like to ask Katherine a question or have a comment with confidentiality, put your message in the chat function at the bottom of the screen, and Katherine can read it out.
Celia?
Hello, Katherine. That was extraordinary and very wonderful. And it took me into complete pastures new in some way. And it's going to take me a long time to come back from there. So I don't really have anything very much to say except thank you. And thank you for the total new perspective that sort of emerged in there. And it was amazing. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Annie and John, would you like to share?
Wow, Katherine. In the words of that Strictly Come Dancing judge, that was amazing. Wow, that on so many levels. It was beautiful, and it was incredible because this morning, although we're on the daily lesson, which is what, 3:35, I think, or something today, as we sat on the terrace, I just was guided. I said, honey, I'm just going to have a look at lesson 50 because I love lesson 50. And then you came out with that. So I listened to lesson 50, and it's fascinating because I think it's repeated at lesson 60, I think. Again, it's repeated twice in the course. I'm sustained by the love of God. And that the reminder of non-separation, because while we were exploring for a new place to abide, we found it was really divinely guided. We found the perfect place. We didn't push for it. It just came blah, blah, blah. And once the realization that we committed with a couple, the young owners, to rent it, I felt this immense sadness come over me. I even sort of shed some tears. And I realized what I'd done was to reflect on leaving the beautiful, beautiful landlord we've had here. He's just a beautiful soul, you know. Doesn't speak a word of English, so we communicate with our Spanglish, and you know. And it was that belief, of course, in the body separating, and I had to remind myself that wherever I went, they're in my heart and my mind. So that was beautiful. I really, really, really appreciate it. I couldn't believe it when you brought up the subject of lesson 50. And just 15 minutes before we were on this call, I just played the whole lesson. So thank you so much.
I'd like
Yeah?
I just wanted to add that I really enjoyed playing with being in the two places. You know, your higher, I think, do you say big self or higher self?
I said larger self.
Larger self. It's good fun to do that. For me, I found it's actually very easy to distinguish between them, really, because the lower self, whatever I'm doing as my lower self, I have that floating anxiety behind the lower self. I can feel it. And I realize how important for me it is to always monitor how I feel, and then I know where I'm operating from. and you got to operate from the other bit, otherwise things go awry. And we did a wonderful thing yesterday before we travelled, and it really comes from the rules for decision in, I don't know which chapter it is, but it's right at the end of ACIM book. And essentially it's to imagine your day before you do it. And we always do it. We do a process of really feeling and imagining how our day is going to go. And yesterday we did 2.5 hour drive on planes, off planes, hopping all over the place. And we prepay, we call it prepaving, but it's, you know, and we imagined the whole journey going easily and smoothly, including getting in early so we could change our flight and get here early. And it all went absolutely smoothly and perfectly because we were operating in our higher self, because we were calm, we were relaxed, we were at ease. And calm, relaxed, at ease is when I know everything's going to work fine, because I'm trusting I'm sustained by the love of God. But thank you so much. It was wonderful today.
You're welcome. I'm interested in people's comments, because for me, I mean, it is a guided meditation that includes separation. It's encouraging us to be both, and that's very much my approach to A Course in Miracles, that actually the deeper I go, the more human I become, like to really let myself be human and have that range of emotions, and at the same time connect, you know, and not try to make one the other, not try to make myself feel serene the whole time. But like, oh, I'm not feeling serene, and I could, you know, there's someone here with me. There's access to a source of love and strength right now, you know. So to be human and to be both, to be me in my messiness and connect with source. Yeah. Thank you.
Viv, would you like to share? Take yourself off of mute.
Hi, I just want to say hi to Catherine. We prayed together. Hello, honey.
Wonderful.
It's so lovely to see you. So lovely to see you. Thank you so much. And it's just such a pleasure to get to know you and to pray with you, pray for people. And just God bless you and everybody on this link at the moment.
Thank you, Viv. And thank you for saying hello.
Just keep doing this wonderful thing you do.
Oh, thank you. Bless you.
Bless you too.
Oh, how lovely to meet you.
And you too. Yeah, you too. Okay. Take care. Much love.
Rona, would you like to share?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I just wanted to express my gratitude. Thanks so much. You're a very powerful teacher. I found the meditation just took me right in, to be honest. And I really loved the larger self and the smaller self, and there was just a sense of being able to really encompass and love them both, and just really see both of them as sat within love. It felt like a very strong teaching about love. Yeah, thanks so much. Very articulate. Like your own work felt very obvious. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Rona. Yeah, that really blesses me that you felt love for both and as both.
Yeah, it's powerful, very powerful. It'll stay with me all day. Thanks.
Oh.
Jim, would you like to share?
Yes, thank you, Dan. Thank you, Catherine. That was a beautiful meditation about how we can be fully divine and fully human at the same time. And as you say, it's often forgotten about the second part. You know, we're here on Earth, so we need to be fully human. In fact, it came up right at the beginning of this Q&A because I pressed the wrong button. I intended to press raise hand, and I pressed wave. So the wave was fully appropriate because I wanted to wave anyway, but I did want to ask a question. And until I realized I'd done the wrong button, I felt ignored. I thought, why doesn't Dan want to hear from me today? You know, because there were other people speaking, and I thought I got my hand up, and I thought I'd been first as well. And so I had this feeling of being ignored, but it was held in this love. And basically the divine and the human are both love. And it's just the one. And that was a real experience following on from your meditation. The question was, and you've actually partly, well, you very much answered it, in fact, in the other answers you've given other people. But the question I had was, in view of your meditation, can you say more about being fully human and fully divine at the same time, not switching from one to the other, but concurrently?
Okay, I don't know if this is going to answer it, but what the way I see it is, as I go through life, I become aware of things I have chosen not to see, perhaps in order not to feel certain things, or in order to stay within certain relationships. And that, to me, is what the Course is calling the negative use of denial. I'm not sure it actually says that. It says, but it refers to the positive use of denial, which implies a negative use of denial. So we can't actually hand something over to spirit until we've seen it, until we've been in it. And, I'm here with this. I'm seeing what I'm seeing. I'm feeling what I'm feeling. And I think there is a temptation to try and bypass that stage and feel okay about everything. So the way I see it is, when you watch a film, like anyone here can think about their favorite film, do you watch it with your eyes shut? Do you watch it like this? Oh no, there's something bad happening. No, you don't. You totally let yourself be there. I mean, some people even like horror movies. They like being frightened, knowing that it's going to end, knowing that at the same time they're sat on their couch and they can go and have a cup of tea. So my aspiration is to go through life looking at this screen of life, with this beautiful teaching. Everything is our thoughts. These are our thoughts, but there's no difference between the thoughts in here and what I'm seeing outside. So my aspiration is to, live life like this. And that's being human to me. Like, the more I know it's an illusion, let me live it. It's an illusion. It's so beautiful, James, that what you just brought to us is that even the feeling of being ignored can be a chance to feel loved. To be loved in a moment of feeling ignored transforms being ignored. It makes it nothing. And yet you allowed it to be something. You've named it and you noticed it. You were human in it. And in that humanity, you were loved. And in that love, ignored is being fine. Feeling angry is fine. Feeling anything we feel is fine. It's transformed in that moment of, and this changes nothing. The separation never happened. Wow. So I hope that answers
It does, yes. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you.
Sandy, would you like to share?
Unmute for a minute. Thank you, Catherine. That was really wonderful. Yes, I found it at first a little bit of resistance to just acknowledging the small self in that way, but I just decided just to go with it, just relax into it, and found that love there that is accepting, and it was really nice perspective to keep shifting backwards and forwards, and it's helped me to what's the words, I can't quite put it into words very well, to accept the body far more, because so often we have this dichotomy of not knowing we're not a body, and so sometimes I struggle with that within the Course, and that's helped me to really sink into that and be accepting it with love and realizing what its purpose is. So thank you for that.
Wonderful, wonderful. And me too. Yeah, when I listen to it, that it's like, would God, would self really be sitting there going, they're identifying with the body? No, that's a part of us that's, so even when we do, there's a part of us, we are part of one who is not, focused on that. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Joe, would you like to share?
Oh, you're on mute, Joe.
Right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Katherine. It's Josie.
Is it Joan?
Yes,
Oh, wow.
and it was absolutely perfect and spot on for me today. You don't know how much it was just right. It was what I have been praying and asking for this last week or two.
Oh.
And tears that have been there waiting to come. The last couple of weeks I've been feeling very anxious and depressed, two sides of the one coin, and working through it, but I couldn't get the tears to flow. And I have been working on the psychological aspect of the person and the inner child. And I understood it, but I couldn't connect it properly. And today, for me, I totally got it.
Oh.
I've been looking, and I said yesterday, I'm wanting, and as an adult in this world, it's not feasible. But I've been feeling this deep, this loneliness and deep desire for unconditional love. And this is what I connected with today. And for me, what you said was just perfect.
Oh.
And it's moved things for me. And the tears were just rolling down my face as I connected my higher self, bigger self, whatever you want to call it, and my little self in this world, connected them, and God, whatever was, of course, He loves me. Of course, I'm loved unconditionally. No matter what I think, say, or do, guilt, come on, of course I love you. You know, you are. You and me. I am you. And thank you. So many blessings.
Blessings on you, Joan. Wow. Just to tell everyone, Joan and I have been pen friends for, well, we were both housebound, and we became pen friends before the internet, like over 20 years ago. And I've never actually seen her.
Well, you see me now. And
Oh.
I came on because, well, I was guided. And this was absolutely perfect for me. Absolutely. I got the connect, and I'll be watching it again. And each time, if I get that feeling again of the deep loneliness in my heart and wanting, feeling that I need unconditional love, I've already got it, I know that. But to connect up with it,
Yeah.
it was so very, very wonderful. And Katherine, it's lovely to see you. Thank you.
Thank you. That is beautiful. And I love that, how amazing that in a moment of loneliness, you also name unconditional love. Because, you know, when we're deep in the human experience, we can just remember what we're feeling. But yeah, it seems inevitable to me that if in a moment of loneliness, you also say, and what a what I want and what I know is actually there is unconditional love, it totally makes sense to me that something turns up that makes that connection for you. Oh, beautiful. Thank you.
Ian, would you like to share?
Thank you, Dan. Well, I would, but I noticed Dennis is waving his hand, his physical hand around, so I don't know whether he wants to, and he's been doing that for some time. Maybe he wants to go first.
Thank you, Ian. Katherine, that was bloody fantastic. Thank you for being so clear and precise. I understood and could hear every word you were saying. And I'd like a copy of that. It was like a lighthouse shining in the dark. I'm not a body, I'm free, I am still as God created me. I spend a lot of time outside in the sunlight in Australia in the Merchant Navy, sailing around the Greek islands, and I developed cancer of the ear, and it came up like a strawberry. They did it on day surgery, and I came back, and it was so painful. They put a pressure pad, and they told me to take some ibuprofen. I was crying with the pain. I wanted to die instead of the pain, because every time my heart beat, it throbbed. I started doing the course, and I started saying, I'm not a body, I'm free, I'm still as God created me, and the pain stopped. I just kept repeating it over and over again, and in a way it frightened me that I was that powerful. This morning I went to the doctors and he gave me some proper painkillers, and it made me sleep for about 3 or 4 days. Thank you. Bless you.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you. Always a delight to see you on Wednesdays. Thank you.
Okay, Ian, would you like to share?
Yes. Yeah, Dennis said he wanted to keep this meditation. Well, just to remind you that it's going to be, it'll be on our YouTube channel forever. I don't think we're going to delete any of the meditations that are there, so you can find that easily anytime you want. Yeah, I just want to say thank you, Katherine. That was really an amazing meditation. And like you, I've always had this thought of the course as being on two levels. The lower self level and the higher or larger self level, and they don't seem to, I don't see that they ever conflicted. Only one is true with a capital T in the ultimate sense, and the other one is true with a lowercase t in my experience. And I've never seen any confliction between the two. And I've always found that a very useful concept whilst reading and studying the course. But what I've never done, I don't think, until this morning, so this is the really big thank you, is I've never done a meditation where I saw myself from the larger perspective. Well, not saw myself, saw everything from the larger perspective. And that was quite cosmic, divine. And well, I'd like to return to that. I will return to that perspective often, I think. But thank you for providing that experience.
Thank you, Ian. I notice when you talk, I'm a little bit like nervous, like it's Ian Patrick, which is interesting, isn't it? Like, what's he gonna say? Everyone's like really enjoyed it, and Ian's gonna say, "Oh well, I don't know," because there are. Whenever we talk about the course, I think there's a potential for us to disagree on the way we receive it, you know. And yeah, it was important to me to say. Yeah, I was really up for people saying, "Well, you know, I'm sustained by your love to myself, and what's the difference between self and God?" And yeah, but thank you, Ian. Thank you. Oh, I just want to say to Joan that Dan can tell you this, but Miracle Network are running an inner child course. And if I'm right, Dan, could you tell Joan about that in case she doesn't know?
Yes, yeah, we're running an inner child course starting in January. And if you're interested, you can send an email to me and I will get you on the course.
And I think it's free, isn't it, Dan?
It's free, yeah. It's a gift from Miracle Network. And anybody else want to share? Okay, take yourself off mute and show your appreciation to Katherine. That was beautiful, Katherine. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Catherine, and thank
Thank
you,
you for
everyone.
having me.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you very much.
Catherine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Absolutely wonderful.